Hello learners, Quality Engineering and Management, Week 10, Video 33. The topic is Cause and Effect Diagram. Presented by myself, Dr. N. Venkateshwarlu, Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. Introduction to Cause and Effect Diagram. In the manufacturing processes, you may be observed several problems such as machining problem, tool problem, operator performance problem, wrong method problem, quality problem, etc. All these problems need to be solved. To solve quality problem, its root cause have to be identified. To identify the causes, systematic analysis shall be conducted by using cause and effect analysis or cause and effect diagram, which is also called as fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram, because it was introduced by Dr. Kaoru Ishikawa in 1943. Learners, objectives. After listening this video lecture, you should be able to understand the cause and effect diagram, discuss three types of cause and effect diagrams, describe the process of cause and effect analysis. So the learners, these are the three types of cause and effect diagram, and these are the various objectives you are going to learn in this video lecture. First, we have to identify a problem, that may be quality problem. So then we need to find out different causes as shown in figure 1 that can produce observed quality problem. Then again we have to concentrate on one of the cause and investigate it in more detail. Similarly, investigation will be conducted for other causes one at a time. If we draw this diagram, cause and effect diagram, it looks like a skeleton of fishbone, and that's why it is called as a fishbone diagram. Cause and effect diagram. This is an example of a cause and effect diagram. It looks like this. Suppose it's a quality problem, then there are various causes: cause 1, cause 2, cause 3, cause 4, cause 5, cause 6, like that several causes will be there. Due to those causes, this quality problem might have occurred. To identify any problem, then we have to find out the various causes. So the cause and effect diagram looks like this. If a quality problem is identified, then we have to identify numerous causes of the quality problem. The causes may be due to men, machine, method, management, measurement, material, and milieu or environment. So these all 7 M's, we can say that 7 M causes for the cause and effect diagram. In that, first is management. Does the management support in providing correct information and other improvement activities? So because of it is due to management also some problems occur. So that is some cause, because the management is supporting or by providing correct information or not, and management is providing information for improvement activities or not. So some problems may occur due to this management problem. Then man. So man means the employees who are working on the machine. For them also, due to them also some problem may occur. So that may be the one cause. In that, does the employee have given proper training or on quality tools and techniques? Then method. Are the proper methods followed? Are the proper processes and specifications are provided? Is there any proper control method is adopted? So this is also one cause for that quality problem. Then measurement. So in the measurement, are all measuring instruments are calibrated? Any environmental impact are there? So these things one has to see before measuring. So all measuring equipment needs to be calibrated. Then only we can avoid the problems. Then machining. So machine is preventive maintenance methods are followed for keeping the machine condition and available for production. Does the machine capable to produce products with required quality under control limits. So for here the machine needs to be preventive maintenance needs to be conducted, and then it should be provided to the shop floor with the condition. So that is the that's why if it is not preventive maintenance is not conducted, then the problems may occur. And then next one is material. Then in the material, what is the quality level of material received from the various suppliers, or the suppliers are supplying the quality of materials consistently. So this is also one of the cause for occurring any problem. So suppliers are supplying the raw materials in correct way or not, that one should understand. Then only one can reduce the problems. Then last one is milieu or environment. Does the environment affect production outcome or not? Is there any environmental impact is there? Because of environment, high temperature or there, or various environmental impacts also takes place. So that should be avoided. That impact should be avoided while machining or while carrying out any process. So these are all 7 M's, also called as a 7 M's for the cause and 7M causes for the cause and effect diagram. So the cause and effect diagram, figure 2, the principle of cause and effect diagram in the shape of a 7M diagram. Here in the 7M's, what are those 7M's? The quality problem, when the quality problem comes, the method may be the one cause, then man may be the one cause, then management may be the another cause, measurement, machine, material, milieu. All these 7 M's are known as a causes, 7 M causes for the any quality problem or any problem that it will take in the cause and effect diagram. So the cause and effect diagram looks like this. It is a long waiting time at some ultrasonic operation has taken place. So for that there are various reasons like methods, environment or people. So the causes are various causes. In that again then sub causes will be there. So all the sub causes, main causes and then principal causes are every what are the causes for that particular waiting time at ultrasonic processes. So that is the this is one example of a cause and effect diagram. Then steps for construction of cause and effect diagram. What are those steps? These diagrams are built up from a problem statement through a detailed causes using the following steps. Statement one has to give what is the problem. Analysis of the symptoms and causes yields the problem statement. In turn, this then becomes the level for the root effect arrow as shown in figure 10.2. The major causes are, the second step is to identify major categories of causes like men, machine, like that. So major causes. These are then drawn at an angle to the root effect arrow as shown in the figure 10.2. Then detailed causes. Though once you get the main cause, then again detailed causes all need to be identified. The next step is to list out all the detailed causes within each of the major categories. For example, weather and other air traffic control delays under the major causes other as shown in figure 10.2. The principal causes, the final step is to identify the principal causes within the list of detailed cause as a guide. For example, figure 10.2 indicates these principal causes with an asterisk. So this is one of the figure 10.2 cause and effect diagram for the flight delays. In the flight delays there are various problems, various causes you can identify. It may be due to the personnel working in the airport or airport itself, then aircraft, then procedures or other ticketing procedures or other procedures. These are all called as a major causes. Then in between the principal causes which are shown as asterisk, like you can see in that various causes you can identify. So main causes are personnel, airport, like men, machine, like that. Here it is personal, airport, aircraft. It may be due to incoming aircraft delay. So if it is aircraft, what you can say, that flight arrival may be late. Because of that, the flight takeoff it will be late. So the delays are taking place due to various reasons. So in that, various causes, first major causes, then principal causes, then different causes. So all these causes will be shown as some other wounds. So that's why we can say that it looks like the cause and effect diagram looks like a fishbone diagram. So that's why we are calling it as a fishbone diagram. So this is the use of a cause and effect diagram. So through that we can reduce the by designing, by constructing this cause and effect diagram, we can identify various causes, and how to reduce those causes can be analyzed, so that we can reduce the flight delay problem. So then the types of cause and effect diagrams. There are three types of cause and effect diagrams, which are cause enumeration, dispersion analysis, process analysis. These are the three types of cause and effect diagrams. First one is cause enumeration. The cause enumeration is closest to the idea generating technique, that is brainstorming. The quality characteristics that has been identified for study is written on the right side of the diagram. Then a line draw across the diagram to a characteristics. This is the spine. Finally, the event that might influence the process is recorded by drawing lines of the spine or other lines. Then all probable causes are simply brainstormed and listed in the order they are generated. This free thinking develops a complete picture of cause and effects. The diagram will contain the causes of the quality characteristics in question. However, it may be difficult to single out any one cause from the many others. Example below describes a small cause enumeration for a common problem, lost luggage at airport. The quality characteristics under study, lost luggage, is recorded on the right of the page, and the spine is drawn pointing to cause as in the figure 10.4. The causes that are suggested are then drawn at the end of lines originating from the spines. These are the bones of the diagram. One cause that has been identified, missing tag on luggage, is drawn at the end of a central bone. These causes are defined as far as possible. For the missing tag, it was decided by the group that either the ticketing agent forgot to place the appropriate tag on the luggage, or the tag were ripped off during transportation to and from the airplane. If possible, these bones can be refined further to even more causes. In the present example, it could be that luggage tags all looks the same. So ticket agents often commit mistakes during a rush to board passengers on the airplanes. Similarly, another cause attributes to lost luggage is the changing flights by the passengers. This again can be further attributed to improper information channels. The same procedure is followed until all ideas are exhausted. So the lost luggage fishbone diagram looks like this. This is the cause enumeration diagram. So here you can see that lost luggage, the changing carrier, changing flights, and missing tag, then stolen or damaged luggage. So there are various causes you have identified. In that, again, sub causes also you have identified. So with that we can find out the causes and its effect on the problem. So whatever the problem comes, then the causes can be avoided so that the problem can be reduced. So that is the use of a cause enumeration or cause and effect diagram for the lost luggage. the types of cause and effect diagram. Then second one is dispersion analysis. The second type of diagram is the dispersion analysis. This is similar to the cause enumeration, except that causes are grouped under structured categories such as men, machine, material, methods, measure, management and value. This already we have discussed in the earlier. So for dispersion analysis, similarly for service processes, the traditional categories are people, processes, frame conditions and work environment. So the manufacturing processes are different causes will be there, and the services different categories will be there. The main step for producing a cause and effect diagram using dispersion analysis, which is the more common approach, are the diagram can be done by an individual but gives better results when created by a team. Therefore, group formation with members having necessary knowledge is required. Mention clearly the effect for which causes are sought. Identify the main categories of possible causes for the effect and place these at the end of the booms emanating from the spine. Brainstorm all possible causes and place them in the suitable area of the diagram. Causes that belongs to more than one category are placed in all relevant positions. It is often required to draw the diagram after the first version has been completed. Analyze the identified causes to determine the most significant one. So here the cause and effect diagram for dispersion enumeration are incorrect price. The problem is incorrect price. So here the various causes are methods, men, material, machine we have taken here. So if it is machine, then faulty, you can say that various other causes means main causes and then other causes you have seen in this figure. So main causes are materials, machinery, men, methods. So with that there is a why the incorrect price has been arised. So that is a problem. To reduce that incorrect price, we can identify various causes with the cause and effect diagram. Types of causes and effect diagram. The third one is process analysis. The final type of cause and effect diagram is the process analysis diagram. They are more directly aimed at improvement of business processes. The diagram follows the product through the process, and the causes encountered at each step are recorded at step on diagram. This diagram helps to show the flow of the process and where the problem occurs. However, the problems may occur repeatedly and the causes that cannot be attributed to any particular step may be difficult to represent. So this is the third one, process analysis diagram for the cause and effect diagram. Then comes to Pareto analysis and cause and effect diagram. This is also a tool for identifying the causes and reducing those causes. The Pareto analysis is a technique for focusing attention on the most important problem areas. The idea is to classify the cases according to degree of importance and focus on resolving the most important, leaving the less important. It also known as the 80-20 rule. The Pareto concept states that approximately 80% of problems comes from 20% of items. For instance, 80% of machine breakdowns comes from 20% of the machines, and 80% of the product defects come from 20% of causes of defects. So the Pareto analysis is a tool which can identify the most important problem so that we can work on that main problem, so that we can solve the major problems. So that is the importance of a Pareto analysis and cause and effect diagram. In this Pareto analysis is also called as a 80-20 rule, in that 80% of for example, in the machine shop, 80% of machines 80% of the problems comes from the 20% of the items. So like that, so this cause and effect diagram can be utilized for identifying the major causes. In a particular organization, over 15% of observations exceeded control limits and a large number of solder connections required touch up. A project team was formed whose mission was to reduce the number of defective solder connections. A team of people not from one department but from several cross-functional departments was set up to guide the project and do the diagnosis. Figure 10.7 depicts the distribution of symptoms by type of solder defects. Data on the defects were analyzed and theories were offered on the cause of defects. So here the Pareto analysis diagram, you can see that here in the solder defects types, though there are 6 defects are there. One is insufficient solder, blowholes, unwetted, unsoldered, shorts, and then pinholes. There are which are denoted by A, B, C, D. In that, the A, insufficient solder, it's not correctly soldered. So insufficient solder percentage is 53%, and second highest is the blowholes. So with these two, if you add these two only, we can solve 66% of problems. So 66% problem can be reduced. So later another 34% can be solved later. So that is the advantage of Pareto analysis and cause and effect diagram. Here, by identifying the major causes, so the major causes can be reduced first and then go for the less percentage problems. So this is the advantage of a Pareto analysis for the cause and effect diagram. Then figure 10.8 is a cause and effect diagram summarizing the theories. These theories were grouped into 3 categories. There are, by allowing a checklist to be developed which was used to supervisors to evaluate theories. After additional data collection and analysis, low solder temperature was found to be the main cause of the defect. So here in the 10.8 figure cause and effect diagram for the solder defect, here the problem is solder defect, but the causes are, it may be due to the major causes are flux, solder, machine, specifications, components and preheat. So the major problems are these, and in this principal problem may be due to the temperature or due to the time, or the solder alloy material is not perfect, or maybe components are not correct, or machining of solder machine is not in a correct, or it was not maintained, maintenance was not good. So like that there are various causes one has to identify, and one has to reduce those causes to minimize the solder defects. This is the use of a cause and effect diagram for the solder defect reduction. Further analysis revealed that for ideal soldering conditions, either the temperature of the solder should be raised or the conveyor speed of the wave soldering machine should be reduced. These were remedies to remove the cause. A trial was conducted using a higher temperature. This resulted in an improvement in reduced solder defects without any adverse effects. Conclusions. Learners, I hope you understood the importance of the Pareto analysis and cause and effect diagram, types of cause and effect diagrams, and steps for construction of cause and effect diagram. Thank you.